When he said those words, they landed like a verdict. I will never let you into the family firm. This is for your brother. A woman can't run it. My stomach flipped and my hands trembled. Every late night, every internship, every bar review midnight, years of work that no one had applauded, felt invisible to him. I walked out that day with nothing but my exam notes and a promise to myself that I would not be small again. A year later, I sat across from his office in a cafe, watching him through glass as he sipped his coffee, oblivious. Patience had become my ally. Anger was a tool I learned to polish, not a fire I let consume me. I remember when I first admired him, at 15, fixing my tie and saying I had the kind of mind that could argue with kings. I followed him into courtrooms, copied his manner, learned how a signature bent fate. I loved the approval that never came. That love turned bitter when I found the hidden emails. Contracts quietly diverted to my brother, memos that erased my pitches, notes transferring clients without my knowledge. The betrayal came in spreadsheets and timestamps, clinical and undeniable. I did not collapse. I drew out his empire on paper. Weak seams, regulatory oversights, trusts left unattended. I turned my notes into a plan. Quiet calls, careful alliances, a rival practice built in the margins while he bragged about his untouchable clients. I studied his contracts until the loopholes sang. I tempted his people with better service and discretion. I watched the cracks widen as I connected dots he had assumed were separate. My brother, used to praise and unaware of the webs I was weaving, became an unknowing piece in my strategy. I never shouted. I never bragged. I let the work speak. When I finally walked into his office, I carried only a folder and the calm I had earned. He looked up with that same old smirk. "You're early," he said. I smiled tightly. "I've come to collect what belongs to me." I laid out the proof. Transferred engagements, frozen funds flagged for mismanagement, client resignation letters, audit trails showing negligence and biased allocations. I watched the color drain from his face as the narrative he had built for years unraveled in my hands. He stuttered. "This can't be. How?" I didn't explain with heat. I explained with facts, one by one, until his arrogance had nowhere to hide. By the time I finished, his empire was a case file of his own making. I left the room the way I had left before, composed, carrying nothing material, but this time laden with everything I had reclaimed. Authority, proof, the quiet satisfaction of justice rendered without spectacle. The city moved on outside his windows. He fell without an audience. I didn't gloat. I didn't dance on ruins. I simply walked away knowing I had turned the tools he taught me into the instrument of my survival. He had taught me strategy, showmanship, law, and I used those lessons to rewrite the future he had denied me. Freed from his smallness, I felt steady, capable, inevitable.